Genesis 18 through 19 involves one of the most famous stories in the Bible, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. In the midst of this catastrophic event, we can easily miss the emphasis of these chapters. I actually think you must read these chapters together in order to understand more about God and Abraham and to know why God truly destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 18, 16 through 21 says this. When the men got up to leave, that is the angels, they looked out over Sodom. Now Abraham was walking with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Should I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? After all, Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations on the earth may receive blessing through him. I have chosen him so that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. Then the Lord will give to Abraham what he promised him." Verse 20, so the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great and their sin so blatant that I must go down and see if they are as wicked as the outcry suggests. If not, I want to know." The two men, angels, turned and headed towards Sodom, but Abraham was still standing before the Lord. This is a moment where God is trying to figure out, do you know me? I think sometimes in this passage we can walk away wondering if God changed his mind after talking to Abraham. After the two angels go away, Abraham responds to God by asking if it is just and right, two words God just used earlier, to destroy these two cities if there are virtuous people living in it. Abraham intercedes. And in this intercession, he goes step by step asking God if there were 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10 righteous people, if God would still destroy the cities. Abraham is able to get God to confirm that if there are even 10 righteous people, he won't destroy the cities. And we can look at this interaction and think, did Abraham get God to change his mind? Is that what conversation with God is about? Is that what prayer is all about, is getting God to change his mind for our own? But if we pay attention to the text, it's clear that God wanted Abraham to hear his conversation with the angels and to do the very thing Abraham did. God didn't change his mind. Instead, God tested Abraham to see if Abraham knew what true justice is. At the beginning of the story, Abraham shows his character in showing great hospitality to these three strangers. They're divine strangers, but Abraham didn't know that at the time. In the ancient world, showing hospitality revealed virtue. To be inhospitable was to be wicked and even violent. And so Genesis 18 shows Abraham's actions and his words matching each other. In the middle of the story, the angels find themselves in Sodom at night, and no one welcomes them. No one except Lot, an immigrant in the city, who upon seeing them, again, Genesis 19, invites them into his house. Lot looks a lot like his uncle here, showcasing his good, not perfect, but good character. As you read the rest of the story, you will notice that the rest of the men of the city, however, show inhospitality. They don't take care of the foreigner. They want to exploit and hurt them instead. And unfortunately for them, they did not know that these foreigners were angels in disguise. The angels then rush Lot and his family out, and only Lot and his daughters make it out since the rest desire to stay. Read together, Genesis 18 and 19 reveal two key truths. First, God cares deeply for people who are unprotected. A good example of people who are unprotected are people without a home. People in a foreign land are good examples as well. If our God cares for these people, so should we. Second truth, God cares deeply about justice. He cares about it so much so that he tests to see if his own followers know what type of God he is. And so I want to end with this very question. Do you know who God is? We'll never be able to know God fully, but we can know God truly. And so like Abraham, may we engage in conversation with God through prayer, not try to change his mind. That's just not how it works. But instead, May we go to God in prayer, asking for God to help us understand his ways, his justice, his righteousness more and more. In doing so, we'll be able to better see and love the vulnerable around us, being truly hospitable people.